Mabríka! Welcome to a new episode of Let's Talk Taíno. I'm Priscilla Colon, co-founder creative of Casa, Areyto, where our mission is to promote the Taíno language and culture. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the cardinal points, that is north, south, east, and west. We're going to talk about the animals associated with these directions and their spiritual meanings. Now, obviously, cardinal points, the directions, are used to signify a physical orientation. However, our ancestors also used it as a guide, as the directions that we can point to when we're facing spiritual trouble. One thing I want to note is that the names for the cardinal points that we're using today come from the Primario Básico del Taíno Boriquenaiki. This variant uses these particular words. However, you may see other words used for north, south, east, and west when you do your own research online, and that's okay. Everyone has different words for the same things, just like we do in English, Spanish, and so on. So, let's get started with our episode. Let's first review the names in Taíno for the cardinal points. Palapuna, north. Huina, east. Uchipuna, south. Wapuna, west. Now, in Taíno spirituality, each of these cardinal points is associated with a sacred animal, and these animals are here to provide guidance in times of need. So, let's review the sacred animals associated with each cardinal point and their symbolism. Palapuna, north, is associated with colibri, the hummingbird. Colibri stands for the wisdom gained through experience. Colibri is actually my sacred animal, and in many indigenous cultures, the colibri or hummingbird was also a messenger from the Great Spirit because it came down from the sky and went from flower to flower, helping them grow. Now let's talk about the next sacred animal. Huina, the east, is associated with guaraguao, the hawk. The hawk symbolizes illumination, enlightenment in a moment of perfect balance. Uchipuna, south, is associated with guanajo, turkey. Guanajo symbolizes innocence and open-mindedness. Guanajo reminds us that we should be like children, innocent and open-minded, always willing to learn. Wapuna, west, is associated with Mucaro, the owl. The owl symbolizes introspection, the power to look into one's soul. In Taíno spirituality, the bohique or behique, that is the shaman or spiritual leader, was also very closely connected with Mucaro, the owl. Why? Because Mucaro is a night creature. It is associated with that cycle of death. But remember, death wasn't necessarily a bad thing in Taíno spirituality. It just means that you went to the underworld where all of the spirits go. So Mucaro was a special messenger. It was the eagle of the night, a messenger directly associated with that spiritual world. Now let's test your memory. I want to see if you remember which sacred animal is associated with each cardinal point. Are you ready for this fun activity? I am, so let's go. Do you remember which animal is associated with Palapuna, north? Correct, that is colibri, the hummingbird. How about Huina, east? That's right, the sacred animal is guaraguao, the hawk. Do you remember which animal is associated with Uchipuna, south? Correct again, that is guanajo, turkey. And how about Wapuna, west? Which animal is associated with that cardinal point? That's right, Mucaro, the owl, is associated with Wapuna, west. That was pretty easy, no? So we learned the 4 cardinal points and the sacred animals associated with each one. Let's review them one more time to make sure we learn them all. Palapuna, north. Colibrí, hummingbird. Huina, east. Guaraguao, hawk. Uchipuna, south. Guanajo, turkey. Wapuna, west. Múcaro, owl. Mabríka! Welcome to a new episode of Let's Talk Taíno. I'm Priscilla Colon, co-founder and creative here at Casa Areyto, where our mission is to promote the Taíno language and culture. So last week we talked about the cardinal points, that is the 4 directions, and the sacred animals associated with those points. Today we're going to continue using those cardinal points in Taíno to talk about maps. So using those words in a practical sense. So why don't we start with a little review to make sure that we remembered what those cardinal points are. Palapuna, the north or north. Munpalapuna, in the north. Huina, the east or east. Munhuina, in the east. Uchipuna, the south or south. Mun Uchipuna, in the south. Wapuna, the west or west. Mun Wapuna, in the west. Now we're going to start with our activity. We're going to look at a series of maps and figure out where different people are located. We're going to ask where they are, and then we're going to answer using one of the cardinal points. Along the way, we'll also get to practice the countries in Taíno. So are you ready to get started? I am, so let's go. Let's begin with our first question. Amana Buk, where are you? Let's look at the map. So I see a map of Estaduni Darat, United States. Now let's see where I'm located. Aha! I'm in New Hampshire. That is in the east. So, how can I say I am in the east? Correct! I can use the word huina, the east. Now let's read the full sentence aloud. Dak mun huina. I am in the east. See how simple that was? Let's try it with the next example. Amana Maria. Where is Maria? Oh, I see a map of Boriquén, Puerto Rico. And it looks like Maria is located in the west, in a city called Mayagüez. How can we say she is in the west? Correct! We can use Wapuna, the west. Now let's read the full answer together. Tukmun Wapuna. She is in the west. Let's look at the next example. Amana Guariche. Where is the woman? The woman's dress gives me a clue. That's right, she is in Colombiarat, Colombia. And we know that country is in South America. So how can we say she is in the south? That's right, we can use the word Uchipuna, the south. Why don't we read the full sentence together? Tukmun Uchipuna. She is in the south. Just one more cardinal point to practice. Do you remember what that might be? Let's read the next question. Amana ara nagu. Where are the people? Let's take a look at the map. Oh, I see Mexicarat, Mexico. And I notice that these people are in the northern part of Mexico. So, how can we say they are in the north? That's correct. Palapuna is the word that we can use. So let's read the whole sentence together. Nahak mun palapuna. They are in the north. Do you see how simple that was? By just knowing the names of the cardinal points in Taíno, we can take a look at a map and then explain where people are, using all of our previous knowledge too of some countries, the names of people. We're putting it all together and being able to speak more fluently in Taíno. That's super exciting. Now, why don't we review one more time everything we learned today? Amana Buk, where are you? Palapuna, the north or north. Munpalapuna, in the north. Wina, the east or east. Munwina, in the east. Uchipuna, the south or south. Munuchipuna, in the south. Wapuna, the west or west. Munwapuna, in the west. Guariche, woman. Tukmun, she is in or at. Aratnagu, people. Nahakmun, they are in or at. Arat, country. Estadunidarat, United States. Colombiarat, Colombia. Mexicarat, Mexico. Boriquen, Puerto Rico. As always, I can't thank you enough for joining me here week after week, helping us rediscover, revitalize, and take back our Taíno language and culture. I'm excited because this new year, 2023, is bringing lots of cool things for the Taíno community. I'm working on a brand new project, so make sure that you're following us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to learn more about it. And here's a hint, you may want to also follow at Taíno Conference to stay in the know. In the meantime, tay karaya guaitiao nagu.